The Golden Calf, How the Children of Israel Betrayed Musa Moses, Part 1. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Tonight we continue one of the most heartbreaking chapters in the history of the children of Israel. A story not about Pharaoh, not about armies, not about slavery, and not even about the sea that split by Allah's command. Instead, this is a story about something far more dangerous. Something that has destroyed nations throughout history. Something that can corrupt people even after they witness miracles with their own eyes. A weak heart. A forgetful heart. A heart that loses sight of Allah. But before we begin, imagine this. You have just witnessed one of the greatest miracles in human history. You saw the sea split before your eyes. You crossed safely between towering walls of water. You watched the most powerful tyrant on earth disappear beneath the waves. You were finally free after generations of slavery. What would you do next? Would your faith become stronger? Would your gratitude increase? Would you devote your life to worshiping Allah? Most people would answer yes. Yet what happened next shocked history. The very people who witnessed these miracles would soon commit one of the greatest acts of disobedience in their history. And it all began after freedom. Because sometimes the greatest test comes after victory. The children of Israel stood safely on the far side of the sea. Behind them lay Egypt. Behind them lay Pharaoh. Behind them lay centuries of oppression. Ahead of them stretched a vast wilderness, a harsh desert, a land of uncertainty. Yet it was also a land of opportunity. For the first time in generations, they were free. No overseers. No forced labor. No Egyptian masters. No whips. No chains. But freedom brought challenges of its own. For years they had depended upon Egypt for everything. Now they would need to depend upon Allah alone. And that would prove difficult for many. As Musa Moses alayhi salam led the people deeper into the wilderness, their journey became a school of faith. Every day required trust. Every day required patience. Every day required obedience. And not everyone was prepared. Many among the children of Israel still carried the psychological scars of slavery. They had lived for generations surrounded by idol worship. Egyptian temples, Egyptian gods, Egyptian rituals, Egyptian symbols. Even though they had escaped Egypt physically, traces of those influences still remained within some hearts. One day during their travels, they encountered a people devoted to idols. The sight fascinated some among the children of Israel. They stared at the statues, the ceremonies, the rituals, the visible objects of worship. Then something astonishing happened. Some of them approached Musa Moses alayhi salam and said, "O Musa, make for us a god as they have gods." Imagine hearing those words after everything they had witnessed, after all the miracles, after the sea, after Pharaoh, after Allah's protection. Yet some still desired visible idols. Musa Moses alayhi salam immediately corrected them. He warned them firmly. He explained that such requests reflected ignorance. True worship belongs only to Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth, not to statues, not to images, not to objects created by human hands. The people listened, but the incident revealed a serious problem. Their faith was still fragile, their understanding was still incomplete, and greater tests lay ahead. As weeks passed, Allah continued blessing them. Despite the harsh conditions of the desert, they received extraordinary provisions. When food became scarce, Allah provided manna and quails. When the heat became intense, clouds shaded them. When water was needed, Allah blessed them with relief. Again and again, divine mercy surrounded them. Yet gratitude remained a struggle for many. Complaints emerged. Doubts emerged. Impatience emerged. The wilderness was revealing what truly existed inside people's hearts. Then came one of the most important moments in the mission of Musa, Moses alayhi salam. Allah summoned his prophet to a sacred meeting, a meeting unlike any other, a meeting that would bring divine guidance for an entire nation. Allah instructed Musa Moses alayhi salam to come to Mount Sinai, known in Arabic as Tur Sinai. There, Allah would bestow revelation and guidance. Before departing, Musa Moses alayhi salam entrusted leadership responsibilities to his brother Harun, Aaron alayhi salam. Aaron alayhi salam was a prophet of Allah, a man of wisdom, patience, compassion, and strong faith. Musa Moses alayhi salam instructed him to guide the people and maintain order during his absence. Then the prophet began his journey toward the mountain. Imagine the emotions. For the children of Israel, it was a period of waiting. For Musa Moses alayhi salam, it was a sacred appointment. As he climbed toward the mountain, he moved closer to one of the greatest honors ever granted to a human being: communication with Allah. Revelation from Allah, guidance for an entire nation. Days passed, then more days. The people waited. Some remained patient. Others became restless. Questions began spreading through the camp. Where was Musa Moses alayhi salam? Why was he taking so long? When would he return? These questions created an atmosphere of uncertainty. And uncertainty often creates opportunities for deception. Among the people was a man whose name would become infamous. As-Samiri, a man whose actions would leave a stain upon this chapter of history. At first glance, he appeared ordinary. But beneath the surface, dangerous ideas were growing. He observed the people's impatience. He observed their confusion. He observed their emotional weakness. And he recognized an opportunity to lead them astray. What happened next would become one of the most shocking betrayals in sacred history. A betrayal not against Musa Moses alayhi salam alone. A betrayal against the very miracles they had witnessed. A betrayal against the covenant with Allah. And the consequences would echo for generations. To be continued in Part 2, The Golden Calf, How the Children of Israel Betrayed Musa Moses. Part 2, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back. In Part 1, we left the children of Israel in a dangerous state of uncertainty. Musa Moses alayhi salam had ascended Mount Sinai to receive revelation from Allah. Harun Aaron alayhi salam remained behind to guide the people. The nation that had witnessed the splitting of the sea was waiting. Waiting for their prophet. Waiting for guidance. Waiting for answers. But while they waited, another man was making plans. A man known as As-Samiri. And what he would do next would become one of the darkest moments in the history of the children of Israel. The camp was restless. Days had passed, then more days. People began asking questions. Where is Musa Moses alayhi salam? When will he return? Has something happened to him? Fear and uncertainty spread from family to family. And whenever uncertainty grows, deception finds an opening. As Samiri saw his opportunity, he understood something dangerous about human nature. Many people prefer something they can see, something they can touch, something visible, even when the truth is greater, even when Allah's signs are all around them. He began approaching people quietly, planting ideas, creating doubts, speaking words that sounded convincing but carried poison beneath them. Meanwhile, many among the children of Israel still possessed gold and jewelry that had come with them from Egypt. As Samiri encouraged them to gather these items, people brought necklaces, bracelets, earrings, ornaments. Gradually, a large collection of gold accumulated. Then, as Samiri began his scheme, he melted the gold, he shaped it. He crafted it into the form of a calf, a golden calf, a shining idol that reflected the sunlight of the desert. People gathered around it. Some stared in amazement, others were confused. Then something extraordinary happened. By Allah's test and wisdom, the calf produced a sound resembling the lowing of a living animal. The crowd gasped. Whispers spread rapidly. Excitement filled the camp, and as Samiri seized the moment, he declared that this calf was their god. And, according to the Quran, he even claimed it was the god of Musa Moses alayhi salam, whom Musa had supposedly forgotten. It was an outrageous lie, a shocking lie, but lies often succeed when people abandon knowledge and patience. Slowly, some people began believing him. Then more followed. Then even more. A tragedy was unfolding before the eyes of Harun Aaron alayhi salam. Imagine his pain. This was a prophet of Allah, a righteous servant, a man who had witnessed miracles, a man who knew the truth, and now he watched members of his own nation gathering around an idol. The same people who had crossed the sea, the same people who had seen Pharaoh destroyed, the same people who had witnessed Allah's power. Harun Aaron alayhi salam immediately warned them. He reminded them of Allah. He reminded them of the miracles they had witnessed. He reminded them that their Lord was the most merciful. He called them back to worshiping Allah alone. He pleaded with them, He advised them. He instructed them to remain patient until Moses alayhi salam returned. But many refused. Some became stubborn. Others became emotional. Still others followed the crowd without thinking. Soon the camp became divided. A smaller group remained faithful. A larger group followed the calf. Harun alayhi salam feared that a violent conflict might erupt among the people. As a prophet, he sought wisdom and patience. He continued advising, continued warning, continued calling them back. But the test was growing more severe. Meanwhile, high upon Mount Sinai, Moses alayhi salam was receiving revelation. Allah honored him with guidance and commandments for his people. It was one of the greatest moments in his prophetic mission. But then Allah informed him of what had happened below. Imagine that moment. Imagine learning that the people you had sacrificed everything for had already begun worshipping an idol. The people you had led out of slavery. The people you had defended before Pharaoh. The people who had witnessed miracle after miracle. Moses alayhi salam was heartbroken. He immediately began descending the mountain. In his hands were the blessed tablets containing divine guidance. His pace quickened. His concern intensified. As he approached the camp, he could already sense that something was terribly wrong. Then he saw it. The crowds, the celebration, the golden calf. People gathered around an idol while their prophet was still among them. The sight struck his heart with grief. Not personal anger. Not wounded pride. But sorrow for a nation that had forgotten Allah so quickly. Moses alayhi salam entered the camp carrying the tablets. His face reflected disappointment and concern. The people fell silent. The celebration stopped. Many lowered their heads. They knew what they had done. Moses alayhi salam immediately confronted the situation. He questioned the people. He reminded them of Allah's blessings. He reminded them of their covenant. Then he turned to Harun alayhi salam. Not because Harun was guilty, but because Musa wanted to understand how matters had reached such a dangerous point. Harun alayhi salam explained everything. He explained that he had warned them. He had advised them. He had tried to stop them. But he feared that forcing a confrontation would split the nation apart and lead to bloodshed. When Moses alayhi salam heard his brother's explanation, he understood. Harun alayhi salam had acted with wisdom. He had done everything possible under difficult circumstances. Then Moses alayhi salam turned toward the true source of the corruption, As-Samiri, the architect of the deception, the man who had led people away from the worship of Allah. The confrontation was direct, powerful, unforgettable. Moses alayhi salam demanded an explanation. As-Samiri attempted to justify himself, but falsehood always collapses before truth. His excuses could not hide his crime. His words could not erase the damage he had caused. Allah's judgment upon him was severe. He was disgraced before the people. His influence was destroyed, and the golden calf itself was removed. According to the Quran, Moses alayhi salam ordered that it be destroyed. The object that had tempted so many hearts was reduced to nothing. Its powerlessness became obvious. It could not speak. It could not protect itself. It could not help anyone. How could it be worthy of worship? The people now faced the consequences of their actions. Many were filled with regret. Many wept. Many realized how quickly they had fallen into error. Yet Allah's mercy remained greater than their sin. The door of repentance was not closed. Those who sincerely repented and returned to Allah found forgiveness. Because Allah is the most merciful, the most forgiving. The lesson of the golden calf would remain with the children of Israel for generations, and it remains relevant today. The story teaches that miracles alone do not guarantee guidance. A person may witness extraordinary signs and still go astray if faith is not protected. It teaches that victory can be followed by tests, that freedom can be followed by temptation, and that the greatest danger often comes not from enemies outside, but from weakness within. Most importantly, it teaches that true worship belongs to Allah alone, not to wealth, not to power, not to leaders, not to idols, not to anything created, only to the Creator himself. Thus ended one of the most painful chapters in the journey of Moses alayhi salam and the children of Israel. But their story was far from over. Ahead lay new challenges, new miracles, new rebellions, and new lessons that would shape the destiny of an entire nation. To be continued in the next episode. The Wilderness Trials, Musa Moses, and the 40 Years in the Desert Islamic History. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.